Okay, let's start over. Hi, there's no water in that. It's Sunday today, the 7th or something. I don't know. But, I have not been filming recently. Okay, I say that. I think my perspective is just skewed because I've said that I'm going to do like pretty much daily vlogs in July, and I still plan to do pretty regular vlogs. I just realized I don't think I ever really planned to film. I was out of town at a cabin for the 4th of July, and I just didn't write when I was there, and I think that was good because I've actually been reflecting on that. I don't think I've really taken much of a break this year since I moved, honestly, because when I moved, I didn't write because I was moving. So is that really a break? And I mean, I did take a week off of writing after I finished draft 3 of Gas Station, but even during that week, I was still making content and oh yeah, and I was like formatting things, and I don't know, I was still doing writing related things. It didn't really feel like an off week. And true, it was only like 3 days of not writing and not filming, but I think that's really all I needed. I don't know, that might change. I think it also just has something to do with the part of the process that I'm in. I don't need to take a huge break typically. Maybe I do, I don't know. Anyway, but it's Sunday now, and so I haven't written. And writing, if you're new, if this is somehow the first video you're stumbling upon, I think my face is swelling. That's weird. I am annotating my first draft right now, so that's what I'm working on. And I really thought I would do that when I was out, but that's okay. I just didn't. So I haven't done that since, honestly, Tuesday. Yeah, it would have been Tuesday. So it's been almost a full week, but today is Sunday morning and I have a big list of things to do, so I thought I'd take you with me. Just like prepping for the week. I already filled out my planner for the week, you know, prepping all my food for the week. I'm working with a critique partner, so I'm gonna read some of her stuff to get ready and make some notes on that. I'm also gonna try to read through, I don't have a goal, just make movement on it. Maybe do 5 chapters or so. That seems like a lot now that I say that, but you know, it's fine. And I usually go on a long bike ride on Sundays. I think I'm gonna try to do some brick training today, so right after the bike, go on like a half-mile run or something. Like not a long run, just like to practice running after biking. That's what the plan is for today. And I just have a lot of random, just things to catch up on. First thing I'm doing though is I'm singing at church in like an hour, so probably should go get ready for that. It's time to chat. Are you ready? Are you ready to chat? I've talked to you guys in like 4 days. I have so much to say. Okay, so I have 2 general things that I've been thinking about. Here's the first thing. So I think I mentioned I was just singing at church this morning, and that's something I used to do a lot in high school. And also in high school I was like in choir class, so I was singing every day, and then I was in musicals, so I was singing like multiple times a day, every day of my life. And so like since then, truly since high school, I have not really sung regularly. Like I'll sing in the car when the spirit moves me. I don't know. I will sing sometimes, but not in front of a crowd or intentionally, like just maybe it's karaoke at a bar, but it's not like I'm not singing every day. This relates to writing, okay? And so it's the same lady who is like playing the piano who it was when I was in high school. And we were just like running through all the songs before mass, and I'm so out of breath. Like, I'm also swimming right now a lot because of my triathlon training. And so I like my breath, I just like can't breathe ever. And I was like, that's not something I really struggle with a lot. And I just kept mentioning like, I can't even like breathe through the song. Like, it's just taking so much more breath. And like my voice was just like, it was fine. Like, it's singing at church. It doesn't have to be an opera. The tone of my voice, like I would just feel myself going flat a little bit more and like dropping off sentences. And like, it was funny, I was talking to her about it. She also teaches like choir to elementary schoolers. And she was like, yeah, you know, when you do it every day, like without even thinking about it, your tone gets better, your pitch gets better, your breath becomes easier, you can breathe like less often in songs, all without even focusing on that becomes better. Because she was talking about how she's with like elementary schoolers. So they're not really talking about pitch and tone and all these things in a detailed way, but just because they were singing every day, they had that natural increase in skill without even trying. And I just was thinking about that and I was like, that is so true to my experience of writing. Because every time I take big long breaks, or even like honestly a few weeks, I feel like I lose all my skill. Like I go into a scene and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this. And I think that happens every time I get to a new part of the process. Drafting and revising are such different skills. And so is like annotating and reading through and listening for, like reading for syncopation and dialogue and like all these skills. I feel like we sort of are subconsciously using them all at the same time, but also you're sort of rotating through them based on how often you go through each part of the process. And so, but I do find like after I'm working on it for a week, then that skill becomes easier. So like noticing things to highlight, it went really slow and then it started going faster just because that skill building happens just by repeating it and doing it. And so I just thought that was interesting, especially because I think sometimes writers, we come back to a project or come back to writing after like, maybe you had a busy season of school and so you like didn't write for a while and now you're coming back to it. Or like I had a big life event and then came back to writing and then you expected it to feel exactly how it felt the last time you were in it. And it just doesn't. And it's because of that. It's because you are not doing it in this regular pattern. And that's why I am such a proponent of not writing every single day, because I think that's a toxic mindset, but like writing more than you're not writing and having a routine where it's as easy as breathing to write, or to sit down and write. Not even writing physically. So I don't know, that was just some serendipity there. And if you're feeling like it's never gonna get easier or feel more natural and you can't focus on all the right things, it will get easier just by doing it more. And okay, kind of in the same vein, this is the book I read, The Rom-Commers, over the last weekend by Catherine Center. It is about two writers, which usually I don't love books about writers because it feels a little like too meta for me, but I actually usually do read them anyway. But this one, he is like a famous screenplay writer and she's like trying to break in, but also she has other priorities, so she's not doing as much. And he writes a rom-com that's really bad, and so she comes in to help him, and they stay in his mansion and write a book, right? Or write a rom-com. And there was a lot in this book of like things that like are truly not what the plot was about that really got me thinking. So for example, early on in the book, she mentions some, it's called the information gap, which is like a writing term where you give the reader an information gap. So they're like, oh, I don't, what's going on with that? I want to know about that. And you don't tell them everything so that they keep reading. And she like is explaining this to him. And that's one of those things where like, I know that subconsciously that that's something that's in story, but I don't like actively think about like, oh, I should add an information gap into my book. And when I read just that, and the like kind of cocky screenwriter who's written all these bad like blockbusters was like, I didn't, like you taught me this term that I didn't know. And there's also this whole thing in this book about like she has not really had a big break into writing, and just about like how many scripts and screenplays never make it into a movie, and how like you could work for months and months and months on this screenplay and it doesn't get anywhere, and that's okay, and you have to let it go. And I think that like, I was thinking about screenplays recently. I don't really write screenplays, but I feel like in that area, I don't actually know, so if you're a screenwriter, maybe tell me I'm wrong, but it's easier to like give up on a book because you're trying to sell your screenplay to people, or maybe like a pilot gets made and then it gets, I feel like it's easier to visualize that whole process and why things are rejected and things don't go through easier than it is with querying and book publishing. Because when you're pitching a screenplay and they make a pilot of it, maybe, like, you can physically see how much money is going to be spent on the screenplay, like the casting of the actors and the director and all of the equipment and like buying the rights to music and buying the right like screen time and getting it, you know, you can physically tangibly see how much money is on the line for the people who are buying the screenplay. So I don't know if this is really true, but I feel like I would have a lot easier time accepting if like it got rejected by everyone, or maybe it got made into a pilot and then it didn't pick up. I could have an easier time seeing like, okay, it doesn't work because of the money, like because it's not an investment that's good for them. It's not personal to me, it's just the industry. And I feel like that's still very true with TradPub, because there's editors and there's printing costs and marketing costs and like there's all these costs associated with traditional publishing as well. But because we can't like tangibly see that so clearly, I think we often think that like, well, why couldn't my book just be published? Like, why couldn't this, well, it can if you want to self-publish. But like for traditional publishing specifically, like, why can't they just take more people? And it makes every rejection feel a lot more personal, because you're like, would it really be that bad for you to take me? You know, I am very well, like, I know traditional publishing, and I get that querying is going to take a long time, and I really don't take it personally when I get a rejection. I really do take it personally, but I know that I shouldn't, and so then I tell myself not to take it seriously, and I eventually don't care. Like I can talk myself out of it, because I know that it is like, you just have to think about if an agent's trapped in a library and a bookstore and they can only pick one book out of the 600 books in the bookstore, like blah, blah, whatever. I know the analogies. Anyway, so this book just like reminded me that even the projects that fail are not wasted and are not bad, and it's kind of given, and it's just like part of it. Going back to when she was talking about the writing term, like the information gap, I was having a moment of reflection, because I don't really say this that often. I don't like to learn, okay? Let me explain. I have people who are like, I love to learn. I just want to learn new skills all the time and learn how to, no, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn. I want to already be good at it, and I want to just do it. And so how that often translates is like, obviously I want to develop my skills and become better, but the idea of sitting down to learn something, do not put me in a classroom. I got through college in 2.5 years. It should have been 4. I just overloaded all my semesters so that I didn't have to keep learning. But I actually think I do like to learn, but not through like being taught. I want to learn by doing. And I think that that's toxic, and I'm trying to change that. So, and how I've always approached writing a book, and I still stand by this, is that I think sometimes people get so caught up in reading every craft book and watching every video about how to write a book that they don't actually write a book. And I will stand by this, that I think the best way to learn how to write a book is to write a bad book and then write a better one. I have now written 4 books, 3.5, whatever. And so I've done that. I've learned how to write a book by writing some bad books and now writing some better ones. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't learn. So I'm trying to supplement in my mind, like, yes, I have learned a lot by writing, but maybe if I want to improve my craft to the next level, to like get to that point where I'm using all of these other skills that I could potentially have. Like, now that I already, I believe, have the skill to write a decent book just by writing books, now I want to like learn how to take my like physical sentences and my character arcs and all of that just to the next level even more. And so I'm trying to find some more advanced resources, because I mean, I've read Save the Cat, and I've read, like, I feel like I read all the introductory craft books, which still obviously I could reread them and find some things that are good, but I'm talking more things like in a scene level and a paragraph level and a character level that like are not basics, but like elevate your book even more. And so I'm kind of on the lookout for more resources like that because I just don't want to learn, but I know I need to. I was thinking back, one of my friends, Cameron, who writes, she also does mostly chess now. She did this blog project a couple years ago that was called the Writing Rules Project or something, where she would write a short story based on a popular and using a popular piece of writing advice or something. And she'd do that every day. And I don't think I'm gonna do it in such a structured way, like use short story, because I feel like I want to write short stories, but I don't actually want to, but maybe that would be a good way to practice these like higher level writing concepts. So I don't know how often I want to do short stories, but like maybe on a Sunday morning or something, I write a short story using like some sort of advanced craft element. So yeah, this is kind of a lot of random information. I must really be avoiding something. I don't know what that would be. That's just kind of some things I've been thinking about and reading. I do recommend reading the rom-commers. Just lovely little Catherine Center book. Love to see it. Hi, it's Monday morning. I don't think I ever checked in after my bike because I fell down a TikTok rabbit hole. Okay, I did. I'm not proud of it. And now I'm stressed about everything. But also, okay, this is a TMI moment. Are you ready? I bit my lip. Like aggressively, like broke the skin blood, bit my lip on the 4th of July. And then I bit it again moments later. And it like physically hurts now still. Like it's an open wound. And now I'm getting all this acne like right at my lip line, which I do not typically get. So maybe I'm getting my period. No! Oh, I'm going live in 2 minutes. Okay, time to pep in my step. Hi everyone, it's me, Alyssa. Sorry if you hear the construction. Okay, here's the tea, is that I just watched a scene pack from Insurgent. That's how I'm doing. Am I gonna watch another clip? Honestly, did we ever do better than Insurgent? As a society, stop this man. I'm gonna cry. Oh, my period's coming. Oh no. Stop, Veronica Roth. A+ work, A+ work. I would really like to get a query response one of these days. This is a lie. 2 weeks ago, I got like 7 rejections in a week, and I can use a few weeks off of that. You aren't in a sim. You are the sim. I am Shailene Woodley. I love it. Okay, let's see if there's the clip where he is reunited with her, because I love that part. This makes me want to reread my dystopian novel I wrote in high school. It was like a, ooh, like Cinderella retelling, but everybody has a number. And she's going to this bougie school. And maybe she falls in love with the ruler's son. And maybe she also falls in love with another guy who's like rich and snooty. And then everybody has the same eye color and everybody's implanted with chips that like controls them subconsciously, but they aren't fully controlled yet. They like are in the process of being controlled. And so slowly everybody's eyes start changing to be the same color except for hers, because she didn't have a chip because she was born outside of a hospital, which is illegal. And also she's an orphan. Did I tell you that? And there's also no music in this society. And she goes to an illegal swing dancing club. She said writing. I am procrastinating so hard right now. Shut up. This movie is from 2015. That is 9 years ago. That is not allowed. She said dialogue. She said dialogue. Emphasis on the die. Hey, Kai. Everyone. This is the end of the video. It's Tuesday morning. I don't know when this is posted, but I've yapped for long enough. If you made it this far, comment a green heart down below. And if you made it this far, comment a purple heart. All right, I will see you in a couple days. Bye.